building your game. Just as a couple of quick reminders, make sure that in Unity you go to your file, build settings. You need to make sure that you are on the WebGL platform. If you're not, click the switch platform button right here. You're going to see that Unity is going to import a number of files and packages and things to make it work. You'll see this error right here, just because everything is still compiling and going through its instantiation process. That'll go away eventually. Then go ahead and click on player settings. We need to make sure that our player settings have two different settings set up. First is under player right here. We're going to go and make sure that our aspect ratio is correct. I am in a 4:3 aspect ratio here, but if I switch that to 16:9, I want to make sure that the build setting is also 16:9. So I can do a width of 900 by 506. By default, yours is probably at 960 by 600. That is a 16:10 aspect ratio, so you'd want to change 600 to 540 so that everything fits the way that it's supposed to. All right, then you're going to go to publish settings, and you need to make sure that your compression format is disabled. It cannot be set to gzip or Brotli. It will not work. Then you can exit out of there, go ahead and hit the build button right here, and you're going to save this to a place, for example, the desktop, where you'll know where it is. So I'm going to call this 2D. I'm going to go ahead and hit save right here, and if you haven't saved your changes, go ahead and hit save before, then it's going to go through its build process. That'll produce for you a folder that has a number of files, including one called index.html and some folders. Those all need to be uploaded to your GitHub account. All right, so your GitHub account, you will recall, is going to be where we are saving our projects and are really uploading the build files. And so while this continues to build, I'm going to show you my GitHub right here. You'll create a new repository right here. You got to give it a name. I'm going to call this 2D, and I'm going to call it 2D 2023. And I'm going to add a README file. I want to make sure that it's public. I'm going to hit create repository. What that's going to do is it's going to give me a place where I can upload my files. So go ahead and click add file, upload files right here. I'm going to go back into Unity. You'll see that it's still processing. It may take a little bit of time, so you don't want to really do anything until this is done. You can't upload anything until this is done. You'll see that it's continuing to process right in here. I'm going to go back into GitHub. I'm going to show you where we can make our other settings. Under the settings button right here, I can go to pages right here, and then I can change the branch from none to main. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So basically what that's going to do is it's going to take the repository that is housing all the files and folders and such, and it's going to make it available as a website. You'll see currently, if I hit refresh, nothing is going to happen, but eventually what will happen is there will be a URL that appears right up here, and that will be the clickable, playable link. Sometimes you get a 404 error, in which case you have to basically force the browser to go to the index.html page, so you just add index.html to the end of that URL, and that usually makes it work. I'm going to continue to hang out right here and see if this can wrap up so I can show you the last couple of steps in this process. Okay, my build is done, and so I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to open up right into here, and I can see these files. They all have to go into my repository. So let me go ahead, navigate here, and let me go back to the main spot where I can go to add file, upload files, and I'm going to take all of these files, streaming assets, build, template data, index.html. I'm going to drag it in here. Notice I'm not dragging the parent repository folder, just going ahead, dragging that right here. This particular project has 21 files. Yours is probably going to have 16, maybe 17. This has more levels than on average, and I'll go ahead and navigate down to here and commit changes. This is going to take a couple of minutes to process. You'll see it says processing files. It may take a few minutes to complete. This will stop spinning, and it's actually still processing in the background. If I go back to settings, pages right here, you'll see that I have my link, but it's probably not working yet. You'll see that I get this link. It's actually still processing on the background. Now what I will do is add index.html, and it's still processing. That trick, if you wait long enough, will usually make it so that your page loads. You'll see that I had a bunch of settings that were not in the preview So whatever loads is going to be different than what you saw, but that's just because I was on a different scene within this particular project. There we go, and it loads. You'll see made with Unity, and I get my title page right here. I hit play, and I have my game. Make sure you submit this link to Google Classroom.